God, there's probably going to be so many spelling mistakes. I had to put James Cameron in again. I immediately PTSD'd myself for spelling his name properly.
James Cameroon. James Cameraman. Everything but James Cameron.
Whatever. Hello, I am Sam.
And I'm Ian.
And we welcome you to the latest episode of One Credit After Another, a show where we dive into the career of a filmmaker or actor and their latest project. It is the episode for the ages, or the galaxies. An iconic actress of science fiction and an iconic franchise of blockbuster cinema combine. Sigourney Weaver will be playing an important role in the upcoming Star Wars film, The Mandalorian and Grogu. The premise is this. Following the fall of the Galactic Empire, during a period where remaining Imperial warlords threaten the galaxy, the New Republic enlists Din Djarin, also known as the Mandalorian, and his apprentice Grogu to rescue Rotta the Hutt in exchange for information from the Hutt clan on a New Republic target. The film will have a worldwide release on the 22nd of May, and we have no reviews to mention just as yet. Ian, Star Wars is near and dear to our hearts, but excitement for this film is rather muted among fans. Where is Star Wars at present, and can Sigourney Weaver's notable presence make this film a success? Can she weave her magic?
Also, I love how questionable you spelled Sigourney in that. That's Signorvi. So we'll start with that, shall we? So today we're talking about Sigourney Weaver and her epic career and where she's going with Star Wars. Oh, what I love about it the most as well is literally the spell check hasn't picked it up. It just says, yeah, that's fine. She is Sigourney Weaver, and apparently spell check Google is absolutely fine with that spelling. Oh dear. Well, no, interesting questions. I mean, I think, to be honest, people can go back and listen to some of our previous podcasts if they want kind of our, not a hot take, but how we think about Star Wars. In fact, didn't we do Let's Talk About It, about Kathleen Kennedy?
We did.
So you could go back and actually do that. In terms of where we came, summary, Star Wars is in a great place right now. I think you're absolutely right to point out the idea is excitement being rather mute. But then we end up going potentially down the route of, well, does TV really, can it cross over into film in that same way? And, you know, is there an audience? Is a TV audience, for instance, a film audience? Is a film audience a TV audience? I think all of that stuff can come into play, so it's quite hard to, I think, without opening up a can of worms, talk about that here.
Star Wars TV has mostly been a disappointment, bar Mandalorian, and Andor.
Do people care about Mandalorian now, though? I remember people loved it during COVID.
Yeah,
it kicked off, but I must admit, I don't think I've seen. I saw season 1, really liked season 1. I think I saw season 2, really not sure.
Luke's in it,
and I definitely haven't seen season 3.
So season 1, a really fresh, particularly at the time with Rise of Skywalker coming out, a very fresh take on Star Wars, new characters, new ideas,
lovely western,
new settings.
A lovely western.
We'll just basically go back to, you know, what Star Wars, the first Star Wars was, which was kind of playing around with genres.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a western, it's a bit of a samurai, it's a bit of a thriller, it's a bit of a mystery, playing around with everything, and it worked really well for the first season. And then, unfortunately, with Star Wars, you have to make it bigger. And then by season 2, it's kind of setting up future Star Wars products, like Ahsoka, like the Boba Fett show, like future Mando stuff.
Oh, is that where it goes then? Does it just kind of try and tributary out?
Yeah, massively. Oh, yeah. But yeah, in the second season, you've got like 4 shows set up.
In terms of that, then, is the Mandalorian essentially like a trigger or like a... is he a good character to have as the centre of this new universe?
Well, originally, yes.
At least the Star Wars TV universe.
Yeah, because they built up so much intrigue around him and did such a good job of making a character that you can't see relatable.
Yeah.
Which is why the character of Grogu, also known as Baby Yoda, is very important. Going into the film... If they made this film in 2022, I think the buzz would be huge.
Yeah.
But there's been so much kind of, as it always is with Disney Star Wars, like, just, I would say more downs than ups.
Yeah. But to be fair, though, the bar's pretty low, right? Rise of Skywalker was not great.
Well, this is the question I was going to ask you about Star Wars in its current place. Is it, in terms of public intrigue, the lowest it has ever been in its near 50-year history?
Oh, that's a good argument. Yes, but did you see that really interesting thing that came out the other day? They're worried. They're really worried about this particular movie and where it sits in terms of like release bars and stuff like that. Because at the moment it's tracking to open less than Solo, which I think is not great anyway, because Solo then had a lot of production hell and so on and so forth. Like, that wasn't scheduled to open big, but this is scheduled to open less. And then they looked through the stats, I think Disney released the stats of viewing figures of particular Star Wars stuff. People aren't watching any of the new stuff.
No.
So apparently they're really thinking about pivoting back and pivoting away from a lot of stuff. It's why we've not heard any more about like the new Rey movie and stuff like that, because all of the new, like from Force Awakens onwards, no one's been interested in it. Everyone's been going back to A New Hope, and obviously the prequel trilogy's had a resurgence with all the anniversary editions and so on and so forth. But none of the second sequel stuff, like that's got no interest. And then obviously because of that as well, that's then impacted things like The Mandalorian and all of that. So Dave Filoni's got a task on his hand, because he wants to essentially reboot Star Wars, but Kathleen Kennedy's approach was still to go down the Rey route and expand on all that. The Ben Solo movie, apparently he's getting a huge audience behind it in the same way that Snyderverse stuff has got a bit of an audience that way too. So we're in a really interesting place with this, where it's like, this is designed to start a new Star Wars, in essence.
Yes.
So
it's kind of...
But they're still trying to compare it to as if they were going to... As if, say, something like Force Awakens is coming out. And it's like, well, I think Disney just have to kind of temper their expectations in the hope that they can reignite this franchise, you know?
Yes.
At least for the big screen.
Well, Dave Filoni, obviously, he is now the co-lead of Lucasfilm. We'll talk more about sort of box office stuff towards the end of the episode. But Sigourney Weaver, do we think her presence as an iconic, essentially the queen of science fiction, will she make an impact? I don't think it's a shock that they cast her for that reason.
I love Sigourney, and I think she's got this fantastic place in the world of cinema. And I do think her bread and butter, and we'll go into this in a bit more detail, her bread and butter is sci-fi. So for her to turn up in Star Wars is kind of a big deal.
I've done it again in the next bit. I've put Sigourney.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness! Is that how we're going to start with this? So Sigourney,
right, I'm going to
Sigourney Weaver.
I'm going to point this out. It's a very stressful thing.
Sigourney.
Right.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not mocking your typing skills. I think I'm more mocking the fact that Google's like, yeah, that's all right. That's how you spell Sigourney.
Look, again, the context is important.
No,
anyway. Career to date, Sigourney Weaver was born in New York.
Sigourney, according to this, it's Sigourney Weaver.
This is becoming passive aggressive, right?
I just feel the need to point this out.
You need to calm it down, because it's going to make it editing a fucking nightmare.
We're okay. The second paragraph is correct.
Excellent. Right. Career to date, Sigourney Weaver was born in New York in 1949. Weaver is the daughter of actress Elizabeth Inglis, who was born in Colchester, Essex.
Just around the corner.
Just round the corner from us. Her father was Pat Weaver, who was the president of NBC and is credited with reshaping commercial broadcasting and television into the model we know today.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I think we spoke about it a few times off podcast, but it is such an interesting derniest of dern.
It's because it might be the most intriguing, because I don't think anyone associates Sigourney Weaver with being a potential Nepo baby at all.
No.
So, I suppose that shows her level of fame that no one even talks about it. Beginning her career in the theatre in the early 70s, Sigourney Weaver made her film debut with a minor role in Annie Hall. It is the minorest of minor roles. It's like she basically walks on the street. Her life and career would soon be forever changed with her performance as Ellen Ripley in 1979's Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. The character of Ellen Ripley is considered a major breakthrough for the female protagonist and one of the best characters in the history of cinema. After this breakthrough, Weaver became one of the most famous actresses of the 1980s. Her films include The Year of Living Dangerously, Ghostbusters, Aliens, Gorillas in the Mist, and Working Girl. Reprising her role as Ripley in Aliens earned Weaver an Oscar nomination for Best Actress at a time when science fiction films were largely overlooked. The 1990s began with mixed fortunes for Weaver, with Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and the Ridley Scott reunion film 4092 Conquest of Paradise producing mixed results. I'd never heard of that film before writing this up.
Nope.
The decade improved with Weaver appearing in successful films such as Dave, Death and the Maiden, The Ice Storm, and the cult classic Galaxy Quest. Weaver's performance in The Ice Storm earned her a BAFTA for Best Supporting Actress. Going into the 21st century, Weaver found less prominent roles but appeared in memorable films such as Tadpole, Holes, and the Pixar classic WALL-E.
Bravo!
I knew that was coming. The 2000s ended with Weaver re-teaming with Aliens director James Cameron for Avatar, a film that, to this day, is the highest-grossing film of all time. By the 2010s, and with Weaver now an icon of science fiction, she made appearances in supporting roles for various science fiction films. Examples include Paul, The Cabin in the Woods, and Chappie. Weaver's other films in the decade include A Monster's Call, yet another reunion with Ridley Scott in Exodus, Gods and Kings, the critically derided The Cold Light of Day and The Assignment, and a cameo in the reboot of Ghostbusters. The 2020s has seen Weaver team up yet again with James Cameron for his Avatar sequels with a more prominent role as
Cameron, sorry. Let's point that one out. He's Welsh in this one. Cameron.
The 2020s has seen Weaver team up again with James Cameron for his Avatar sequels with a more prominent role as the character Kiri. Do you remember that character?
I'm not going to lie. I don't remember much of the movies. I've only seen the first one. I've got no interest in Avatar in the slightest.
Disgraceful. Both Avatar sequels have made billions but have received less positive reviews than the first film.
That's an apt one.
Other notable films of the current decade include The Gorge, Dust Bunny, and the upcoming Star Wars film The Mandalorian and Grogu, the first Star Wars film in 7 years. Right, so let's go on to her list of previous films.
Yes.
Ian, what do you make of her full debut film? It's quite famous.
What, Annie Hall? Or are we...
Annie Hall is...
Not the walk-on part. I genuinely think the beginning of her career is Alien, right?
Yeah. This is her third film, but it's her first sort of big starring studio film.
Yeah, part of the ensemble.
Yeah,
not bad. Not bad opener, right? It's kind of weirdly defined a lot of Sigourney Weaver's legacy.
Yeah.
People like it's a synonymous character that's forever woven into Sigourney Weaver's kind of legacy. I don't think it's something you can forget.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad way to start your career.
It could only both Alien and Aliens could only really work with her playing that role because and particularly as a woman, because you're faced up with like this ultimate terror, this ultimate specimen of like unknown horror, the perfect organism.
Yeah.
But in both films, the main thing that they basically show in both third acts is her caring side.
Yeah.
In both saving Jonesy the cat and then Newt the human.
Yeah.
But like the motherly aspect of these films is really important.
Well, because the whole thing with Aliens, isn't it? It's supposed to be like the fear of childbirth, and it's like the whole fear of pregnancy and so on and so forth. You go into the meanings of things like Alien and stuff as well. It almost feels like the female antagonist is perfect for what they're trying to do.
But her performances in all the films, and I include Alien 3 and Alien 4, kind of like holds it all together.
Yeah. She's the only consistent thing of all four of those movies.
Yeah.
Despite the story going out of its way to try and make inconsistencies, I feel like Sigourney Weaver has actually pulled it back to go, no, this is actually Ripley, because no one knows her more.
Yeah. They have tried for decades to try and make these films work without her.
Yeah.
And every time they try and go their own way, they always have to like put it back to being a female lead in the film.
Yeah.
And they're all okay to a certain extent, but no one can replace that character.
Yeah.
And it all starts with Alien.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she basically starts with aplomb. I think she's only about 29, 30 when this film comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she basically like maintains her consistency for the whole of the 80s.
Yeah.
The Year of Living Dangerously, which is, I believe is a Peter Weir film, very famous Australian director, Mel Gibson.
Yep.
One of his first big films. I think this is made in Australia. I imagine it is. And then we go on to another icon of science fiction, more in the comedy route, Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Can I just point out, like, that is an amazing run.
I know, right?
Like, off the bat.
Yeah.
But like Alien and Ghostbusters could not be any different in tone. But she is completely seamless in both films.
And that defines a lot of Sigourney Weaver's career.
Yes.
Right. So I was listening to an interview about this before, and she very much put down like her inspirations being the fact that she's a massive fan of, I think is it repertory theatre or something like that? It's just this idea that you go from one role to the next and you never do the same thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as she described that, I was like, that kind of then explains her whole career.
Yeah.
It explains why she can turn. She's been doing a lot of TV recently. She's done a lot of voiceover work. That she's found her success through sci-fi, and she continues her success through sci-fi. But she's not afraid to try other stuff. And when she turns up in other stuff, she is fantastic in those roles. Like even if you, and again, you can absolutely just point to that 80s run as someone who wasn't afraid to jump into anything. Like stuff like Working Girl, for instance, and Gorillas in the Mist is so far removed from Aliens and Ghostbusters. Genres now that actors will fall into and will stay into.
So yeah, after the success of Ghostbusters, we also have a little film called Aliens, which is up there with my favourite films of all time. Basically cemented her place. I mean, it's kind of amazing that it's hard to really think of a time where you can't judge the character from both films, because obviously we're too young to remember like the 7 years between. So it'd be interesting how people thought going into this film whether that she could like repeat the success.
Yeah.
Because she had a lot more power going into this film in that sense. Like at one point she didn't want there to be like many weapons in the film because she's like very, very, very anti-gun violence.
Okay.
But I think James Cameron was basically like, it's got to be this way. The script was really powerful, and she went on board after that. And yeah,
And it's also an action version of this movie. You
Yes.
can't really do it without
Yeah.
guns.
but that makes it even more amazing. Like how they worked it out on that film and have maintained a working relationship since.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
they obviously
yeah.
have different viewpoints and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
She does speak obviously very highly of James Cameron.
Yeah.
I think because I think she respects James Cameron, the scriptwriter,
Yes.
and I think that then transfers over quite a lot into then the roles that she takes with him.
Yeah. But Aliens. Thoughts?
Aliens. I mean, what can you say? I can't really add to what you just said. Really, it's an absolute piece of magic in terms of cinema, in terms of what it does and where it goes, and the complete change in genre and the vision of that movie at the time.
Yeah.
The fact that it did come out 7 years later, like you said, is phenomenal. The fact that anyone was even thinking about an Alien sequel 7 years after, when you've got so much happening in between Aliens in the horror genre.
Yeah.
And so all of those things combined, you just kind of go, good on him.
Yeah.
And he absolutely nailed it.
But I
James Cameron nailed
think the performance in this film is probably my favourite, possibly ever. It's got an amazing arc.
she's got a lot of people to act off of in this compared to Alien.
Yeah, she knocks it out of the park in both films, and then does something again completely different with Gorillas in the Mist, which I think is one of those films that as a kid was just always on.
Yeah.
I just always remember putting the TV on, and then she would just be in the jungle with a gorilla.
It's basically about a naturalist, right? That goes into not naturalist in the sense of nudist, but in terms of Sigourney Weaver basically goes and lives with the gorillas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this was for her a lifetime ambition
Yeah.
to do something like this.
Yeah. That must have been an insane way to kind of film stuff.
Oh,
'Cause,
yeah.
She must literally have been around gorillas while filming it.
Yeah.
So this is it. But I mean, it led to something fascinating, right? Like, not a lot of people have had 2 Oscar nominations in the same year for different roles, because Gorillas in the Mist was 1 nomination, and then she got supporting actor nomination at the same time for Working Girl.
Yes.
So
Did she get nominated for an Oscar for this film? Oh, she did.
She did.
Jesus.
She was leading role in this, and she was supporting nomination.
Yeah. That must be.
Working Girl.
That must be a very, very rare.
Very rare.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Her 80s run was something else. What do you make of her 90s run?
90s run. Yes. Trying to remain relevant, should we say?
Yes.
Is the best way to describe it. This, though, I think actually taps into the fact that she was obviously quite keen to try different stuff, different genres, different types of movies, so on and so forth. Yeah, I mean, you kind of finished the 80s with Ghostbusters 2, but then you start the 90s with Alien 3.
Does that set the tone for her 90s Ghostbusters 2?
Possibly. I mean, I like Ghostbusters 2, yeah.
Yeah, but Alien 3, mate.
Yeah, it's a film, isn't it?
A film that I kind of defend, but then I will watch the first 10 minutes and I'm just like, this is a long way back.
Yeah. A film that is credited as David Fincher, but a film that he runs away from.
Possibly the most famous film, more famous for its behind-the-scenes drama than the film itself.
Yeah.
Whilst also derailing a film series that has never truly recovered, I would probably say. It's had its moments, but this film kind of smashed a brilliant kind of what do you call a double feature. 1492 Conquest of Paradise, the worst title I've ever seen for a film.
Yeah, it sounds more like a documentary.
I think this is when Ridley Scott was back in form after Thelma and Louise, and Sigourney Weaver, this is her first reunion with Ridley Scott since Alien, so I suppose there was a bit of interest in that.
Yeah.
But it carried on Ridley Scott's great skill of crash and burning after like a good success.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Have you? What's your take on 1492?
I've actually never seen it. Never seen it.
I don't think anyone has.
No. I honestly, as I say, it just, even as I was writing this list, I was like, wow, what's 1942 Conquest of Paradise? Must be a documentary. No, it wasn't.
No, just her narrating it.
Yeah. And then you've got the Ice Storm. I'm not being funny, until I was putting this list together, I'd never heard of the Ice Storm.
I've heard of it. It was really successful.
Hugely successful. Yeah. But when I was reading the list of like the people who was in it, I was like, are you joking? Like Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Katie Holmes. And then we're just going to have like a Elijah Wood. And you're like, what's happening here? What's happening? Like, how have I not heard of this movie?
Yeah.
But yeah, like hugely successful. So she had an interest in 97, also had Alien Resurrection in it. But she finished off the year with potentially where her career was going, Galaxy Quest.
Well, Galaxy Quest, 1999. Which was just a very, very odd cult classic.
Yeah.
Where it feels like it should be terrible.
Yeah.
But it kind of just always works.
It always works.
And it will,
it's teetering on the edge the whole way through.
And it will age brilliantly.
It's really charming.
Because it's a film that's kind of lost on modern sci-fi, where it kind of knows it's tongue-in-cheek and silly and satirical. And this was kind of what a lot of science fiction was in this time. So it's like a nice sort of warm blanket of a film.
Yeah.
She's great in it, but then everyone's really good, even Tim Allen. It might be his only good film.
Toy Story.
Well, live action film, I should say. Because that's it. It's 20 years after Alien, and she's probably at the point now where she'd like to have a bit of fun in a science fiction film. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it in a bit, but maybe this is the first film where she wanted to just play around with her position as a sci-fi queen.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 2000s is kind of, I would probably say, the worst decade of her career to date. Mm-hmm. Where, I mean, it's quite similar to Emma Thompson, where like roles start to dry up because they don't really know what to do with her in many ways. Yeah. So she kind of plays bit part roles, particularly in like...
jumps into TV quite often.
Quite a lot.
Does voices. She does a voice for Futurama. She's, this is the year... I think this is the decade where she's struggling to remain relevant.
Yeah. I mean, Holes is a big classic of, well, particularly my generation, because that was like always on for like a school.
I have never seen Holes. Everyone's always like, you have to go and see Holes. I'm like, never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the 2000s. She's got a really good part in The Village as well, which I still maintain is one of M. Night Shyamalan's best films. It's one of the only films that I would actually go back and watch.
Some may agree with you.
The rest of it, though, there's not a lot here until we get to... I'm a huge fan of Be Kind, Rewind. Huge fan of Be Kind Rewind. I think it's got a real nice soul to it, that movie. Obviously, voicing Wally, but, you know, I think she was there because she has to be Ripley in a Disney movie. And then we get to 2009 and we hit Avatar.
Yes. Well, Avatar is that is her biggest film possibly since The Ice Storm or Alien Resurrection in terms of getting back into like big pop culture films.
Yeah.
Avatar, I mean, I'm sure we've talked about this a great deal on previous Such Rankers or One Credits.
Yeah.
But Avatar,
huge movie,
highest grossing film ever.
Yeah.
Reuniting her with James Cameron.
Yeah.
So basically, from 2008 with Wall-E all the way to Chappie in like 2015, she is essentially used as a weapon of great destruction, kind of towards the end of films with science fiction elements.
Yep, turns up out of nowhere, and everyone goes, "Is that Sigourney Weaver?"
Yeah. So massively does that in Paul and The Cabin in the Woods, with The Cabin in the Woods being one of your favourite films of all time.
Cabin in the Woods is one of my favourite films of all time.
Chappie, she's in Chappie a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really...
I think she turns up in Red Lights as well, which is a really weird movie. You seen Red Lights?
I've not seen Red Lights for a long time.
No, like Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy,
yeah, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro is basically like a medium. It's a really weird thing that goes into supernatural and so on and so forth. She's got an interesting role in that. But you mentioned Cold Light of Day. Yeah, weird part again.
But yeah, the 2010s. Kind of starts with her living off her science fiction fame.
I don't even think it's even living off of it, because not only, like you said, you mentioned about Chappie, turns up in Finding Dory, turns up in the Ghostbusters reboot in 2016, so it's another callback to that. She's got more of a significant role in A Monster Calls and the Mayorovitch stories. But yeah, this is, I think from 2010 onwards, you can start to see much more of the tongue-in-cheekness of where her role is in cinemadom and how she's taken advantage and taken a paycheck for it. It's great.
So yeah, going into the 2020s, which is our current decade. She's back in the Avatar world.
She's back in the Avatar world.
She's
back in Ghostbusters world. Yep. She's back in... You know, she's not been afraid. She's definitely, since 2020s onwards, she's been more of a TV actor. But again, is that nods to her dad's career? You know, like she definitely respects the medium. She turns up. She's won an Emmy, you know, and stuff like that. So she knows. I think she knows the power of TV, and so she understands that. So we do see her moving back into TV roles in the 2020s. I think she turns up in Doc Martin. Have you seen this?
Yes, I remember that.
You know, Martin Clunes and stuff. She's in 2 episodes of it. But she just has. She's playing around with TV at this point a lot more. Does a few movies, but the movies that she's doing are earning, shall we say, a little bit of pocket change.
Slight billions.
So
she's done Avatar, The Way of Water and Fire and Ash.
Yeah.
And the upcoming Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right, should we do some reaction questions on previous films and careers?
I think we should.
So, Empire reviews, best and worst. Should we start with those?
We should.
Cool.
We always start with those.
I mean, you know this much more than I do, so you ask, I guess. Gorillas in the Mist or Working Girl were her Oscar-nominated movies. I think it's going to be. I was going to say there's some of the Avatar movies are sitting on 5 stars, right? Like,
well, we're going to find out.
People love that. Monster Calls is really highly regarded. I think Cabin in the Woods was always received quite well. I'm going to go with one of the Oscar movies. I'm going to go with Gorillas in the Mist.
What, as her highest reviewed Empire review?
Yeah.
Okay, right. You're going to find this very interesting.
Okay, cool. It's Avatar, isn't it? Or one of them is going to be Avatar. Because I know the Avatar 1 was really highly regarded by some outlets and not by others.
On our previous One Credit After Another, we discovered that Dame Emma Thompson, has no 5-star reviewed Empire films.
And Sigourney Weaver has 27.
Sigourney Weaver has 6.
Oh, wow.
And I will name them. So we've got Alien.
Okay, cool.
Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Aliens.
Cool.
Wall-E.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Avatar.
Okay.
And Avatar, The Way of Water.
Okay.
Look at that. 6.
Nice. That's not bad.
That is the highest by far.
Does that mean she's 6 times better than Emma Thompson?
I suppose, in theory, yes.
Yeah.
Emma Thompson, what have you been...
What have you been playing out, Emma?
Why couldn't Emma Thompson be in an Alien film? Worst reviewed Empire film.
Worst reviewed Empire film. Something like Paul. Or no, Red Lights. Well, that wasn't reviewed very well. Or In the Cold Light of Day.
So it took a lot.
Exodus.
It took a lot of research.
Okay.
I found 2.
Okay.
With 2 stars.
Okay.
The first one is Alien 3.
Okay.
And the other one is The Cold Light of Day. You'd be very surprised. I mean, honestly.
Okay. Well, no, you also, according to this Tadpole, it's got 2 stars as well.
Oh, Tadpole has 2 stars.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even see that. That was like one of her. That was one of her. Yeah, but that actually has got good reviews. It just reviewed poorly on Empire.
With Empire.
But honestly, she's had the most consistent career I think we've done so far. Because basically all her films in the 80s.
Well, I'd say more
got 4 to 5 stars.
It's more consistent. Well, because I think we've had a couple of people on this, male and female, that have had really consistent careers. They constantly like Jake Gyllenhaal, for instance, has a really good like kind of back catalogue, right? I think we can say the same for Sigourney Weaver. The one thing I would say, though, is it's impressive that she's that consistent with the amount of genre hopping she's doing.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, a lot of her success, and even in those the top reviewed stuff, we're talking sci-fi. Clearly, her bread and butter. She knows where she is with those. But she's done so much career hopping in terms of Grizzlies in the Mist, Working Girl. Sound like I'm repeating myself now, but like, she's got such an eclectic career. Like, her IMDb credits are so diverse that actually, it's impressive that she's that consistent with that much of a genre change, you know? But then that leads us actually quite nicely onto career trends. What will we say about it? I've added a lot of notes.
I was going to say, you've put in award recognition.
I've added in, that's a whole new title.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Where did that come from?
But the reason why I say career trends, we'll start with career trends, is you put obviously strong female lead, always the smartest person in the room, absolutely. I actually put things like career trends is like the genres that she was in.
Yeah.
Like, she was huge. And even then, with consistent workers, she works a lot with Ridley Scott. She works a lot with James Cameron. But then she also works a lot with things like Ghostbusters and Aliens. So, weirdly, her career trends are also, like her genre hopping, not linked to any particular career trajectory. Like, it's almost like she's connected to lots of different things at once, which all equal a trend.
Do you reckon Ang Lee took inspiration from this, and that's why he does genre
That's just
hopping?
why he just does it. It's like, I met Sigourney Weaver, and then she just made me just think, inspiration, and then that's where I created the genre dartboard.
I watched her pretend to be a dog in Ghostbusters a few years after seeing her run away from a xenomorph trying to save a cat, and I thought, fuck it, that's all me.
I thought, you know what? I've got to make Life of Pi. Like, that's just what I've got to do. Like, that's what I've got. In 22 years' time, I'm going to make Life of Pi.
Can I convince Sigourney Weaver to play a tiger?
Rawr. So like career trends, I don't know why. It felt like
sexual tiger red red.
It felt like the tiger who came to tea. Rawr.
Right, what next?
And then our next section is awards recognition. 3 Oscar noms, no wins. But she did have the double nomination in 1 year, which puts her into quite an unusual category.
Yeah, but the Oscar nomination for Aliens is enormous.
Oscar nomination for particularly within the genre.
Yes.
Like, it's a massive nomination. So in a weird way, she has a bigger impact as someone being nominated than she perhaps would have done having won it.
Yeah, I personally think that her being nominated for Aliens is better than Emma Thompson's Oscar wins.
Oh, okay.
So basically, she is just annihilating Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson right now is just, that's it. Like,
it's over.
You know, the tear is rolling down Emma's cheek.
The sheep who?
Absolutely. But yeah, I wanted to mention the award recognitions there. What do you reckon? What was the main movie to put her on the path of superstardom? That's not even a question.
It was Alien 3, wasn't it?
It's absolutely Alien 3. If it wasn't for Alien 3, then Sigourney Weaver would not have this career.
No,
Alien Resurrection is just the downfall, but Alien 3 is the...
Alien 3 is really what everyone was looking for.
Yes.
They wanted child murder in the first 5 minutes. No, it's Alien. It might be the most famous breakthrough film ever, really. It's so important.
It's so important. Does the actor's career live up to Natalie Portman's? Do you know what? We're changing this. Does the actor's career live up to Emma Thompson's?
I think we should do that. I think we should change it every time.
Okay, we can do that.
I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Just to keep it fresh.
Does it live up to Emma Thompson's?
Well, I think yes, but now this has turned into the hardest question we've ever done on this. Yes. I mean, absolutely yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're very, very, very different background, very, very different career trajectories.
But both can handle genre in very interesting ways.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
suppose you could look at it. Could Emma Thompson do the Ripley character, or could Sigourney Weaver do Love Actually?
Sense and Sensibility.
Oh, Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah. Really interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do a whole podcast on that alone.
We could.
I think yes,
right,
but
okay,
it's definitely up for debate.
I think so, yeah. Most collaborated person.
So this was another hard one. I went for James Cameron with 4.
Okay. But Ridley Scott's got to be quite hard.
Ridley Scott's at least 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's done 3 Avatar films and Aliens. I think James Cameron wins.
Yeah, true.
I'm just trying to think.
And actually, she's potentially doing 4 and 5 with James Cameron as well. So if you
That's
take
true.
a future
Oh
state,
yeah, if you take them into
then that's
account.
it.
I'm trying to think of any Alien films, but obviously she's like usually the survivor.
Yeah.
So she only really plays off people once. Lance Henriksen is kind of in 2 films with her. But no, I think James Cameron wins.
Yeah, James Cameron wins. Yeah, so big box office success and flops according to IMDb.
Well, this is quite easy for biggest win since we've just discussed it.
Avatar.
It's Avatar with only 2.9 billion.
Nice. Do you reckon, or just slightly off piece, do you reckon the re-release of Endgame will bridge the gap between this?
Yeah.
Do you reckon Endgame will take over again?
Yes.
Okay.
The 10th anniversary of Endgame is in 2029.
2029.
By the new decade, it will be the overall winner. Biggest flop, according to IMDb. What do you think? You'll never get it.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that there was a real big flop earlier on. Oh, if I'm never going to get it, then you'll never get it.
It's Company Man. So that film, it took a lot of research finding this. It made $146,000 against a $16 million budget.
Oh.
So it was a big old project.
Not great. Yeah.
And only made 150 grand. So not good.
No.
If they're making a film about Sigourney Weaver, who would play them?
I really like your suggestion here.
I think Kristen Stewart would be bang on.
Absolutely.
To the point where I would actually completely buy her if they did a prequel about Ellen Ripley, how she got on the Nostromo.
Yeah. It'd have to be someone who would look really good with a perm.
Yeah. I don't know how tall Kristen Stewart is, though.
Yeah.
I think
I was thinking of like Elizabeth Debicki, but should she be too tall?
She'd be too tall.
Too tall.
You'd have to
unless it was playing Sigourney Weaver as a Na'vi, and then Elizabeth Debicki could be the Na'vi.
That would be cool.
She's so tall.
That's true. Anyway, what other fields could they work in? I mean, you mentioned TV earlier, sort of going into more of that.
Yeah, but he's still acting, right?
I put directing the next Alien film. That's like a fantasy.
Okay, I would actually say she'd be really good directing theatre. I'd like to see her helm a theatre production because her background and her bread and butter is in theatre. Okay. And she really loves it. She talks quite passionately about it. And it would be really interesting to see a Sigourney Weaver production of Alien in theatre.
That would be fun. I've put unlikely collaborations, Terminator, Predator, and Star Trek franchise.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's everyone's fantasy. I've never liked the idea of like Ripley turning up in Terminator. It would just be too...
More importantly, Ripley turning up in Star Trek.
That would be
That'd
interesting.
be weird.
Yeah.
Diplomacy.
Could they make a film set in Tahiti or Yemen and Alien and Ripley stuck in Tahiti? Okay.
But the biggest question of all, is she the Dernier Stern?
Well, I think if you were born in 1878 and you discovered the magic of TV in the 1930s, 40s, then Pat Weaver is on a run here.
Yeah.
But no, because they're all dead. So I would probably say Sigourney Weaver.
Why? Okay. She's the Dernier Stern.
Well, no, I mean, it is intriguing. It's probably the most interesting one because you've got a father and daughter, completely different sort of like how they like built their careers.
Yeah.
Because Sigourney Weaver, she must have had some kind of like nepo baby situation.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's about opening doors, right?
Yeah, there's no way that
And the president of NBC.
The president of NBC does not have some kind of influence on getting you a job. But then she didn't make her film debut in a big way until she was 30.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's also a father-daughter.
Yeah.
And we're talking still in industry at the time that didn't really know how to use women in lead roles.
Yeah.
It's not like Michael and Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
The only other example I can think of is Peter Fonda and Jane Fonda.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Jane Fonda was
and
pretty
Jamie
big.
Curtis. Tony Curtis.
True,
and Jamie
yes,
Curtis.
yeah, that's true. Same era, yeah. But I think it's an interesting one, really.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that. Imagine like your dad being sort of like a pioneer of television.
Yeah. Basically reinventing it for how we know how to advertise now.
Yeah. But I think Sigourney wins, but it's a good one. It's a unique one. It's literally a unique one.
Should we finish off by talking about the film?
Yes. Dun dun da 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 da. Will she save it?
It's a hard one, this one, isn't it? Can one person save the entire galaxy? Actually,
Yeah.
Star Wars would have you believe they would.
Yeah, Luke did.
Well, I don't know. Han had a bit of a go.
Han tried.
Later.
Have you heard the theory that actually Han was trying to escape and then just accidentally shot those?
I have heard that before.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, actually-
he stumbled into it.
Yeah.
Like he stumbled into being a hero. That lovable rogue.
When he said Yahoo, he actually got the hyperdrive working, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Oh shit, the Death Star!"
I never meant to be there. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, so let's talk about our feelings towards it. Star Wars is huge, but has Disney ran it into the ground?
I think factually, yes. Yeah, Dave Filoni's now in charge. Maybe this will bring fans back.
Yeah.
Maybe it could.
Do you reckon it's lost
could be-
fans? Do you think would you legitimately argue that Star Wars now has a fandom that won't go and see a new Star Wars movie?
Well, a great.
Or
deal,
do you
a
think
great
it's
deal
lost
of
the
it will.
casuals?
Oh, it's definitely lost the casuals.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way the casuals will even understand this film, unless they.
This is
really
why I bring
do.
it back to the TV audience.
This is why
Right? At
this
the
is
very
why-
beginning, I said about like the difference between TV audiences and movie audiences, and I think what a lot of the streaming services have shown is those two audiences are very, very different. Despite there might be like an overlap in themes and so on and so forth, TV audiences are looking for things to watch on TV, and film audiences are looking for stuff to watch in the cinema.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think there's as much of an overlap as people thought there was going to be. Hence the reason why the stuff isn't transferring that well. TV shows that then get movies aren't like absolutely popping off, but movies that are getting TV shows aren't absolutely popping off. So there's this like weird kind of grey area in the middle where it's like a no man's land. Is the Mandalorian and Grogu suffering where a brand new installment into the Star Wars universe might have been better for the franchise?
It's hard to say.
Because you're a Star Wars fan, right? Like you're a huge Star Wars fan. So
There's so many questions around it.
Yeah.
I think it just it needs a complete clean slate.
Yeah.
But this film is like the furthest thing from like a clean slate possible because it's tied to like 17 TV shows and kind of the sequels.
So that's another thing I'm going to ask. Do you think that this will be a soft reboot of
No.
The Mandalorian and Grogu? So will you have to go into this film having seen 3 seasons of a TV show?
Well, this was my original point. It was they need to do a really good job in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
They need to really do a really good job in the first act to like kind of get you on side of what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And I've watched all this. I'm going to go in and be like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, they need to like get that back on side.
The only way that they're going to get me on board is if Ludwig Göransson is doing the soundtrack, because that is an absolute banger of a soundtrack for the first season.
He's doing it.
But that's got me in the cinema straight away.
What I need Sigourney Weaver in the first 5 minutes to be confronted by a
Playing what is it? What they call it, hollow chess.
a giant monster and say, "Get away from her! I've got an itch."
Okay,
and then I'm
like
sold.
proper Disney PG'd it.
Yeah, because that will both make and break me to the point where I'll be like, "I'm done.
I'm
I
done.
don't even
This
like
is it.
either now.
Star Wars is finished.
You've actually ruined Aliens now." Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's. I mean, Star Wars is just one of those things that's been like talked about to death.
Yeah.
It's exciting because I have like zero expectations.
Yeah. What do you think about Jon Favreau directing it?
I mean, he's obviously helmed The Mandalorian, so I suppose he's the obvious bet.
Yeah.
But his reputation has always kind of done this, where he's directed something quite interesting and big, and then it kind of falls away with him.
Does its own thing.
With Iron Man. Like Iron Man, he kind of built that up, and then by Iron Man 2, he's kind of like, we'll just give you cameos.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's his last chance to make a big impression on Star Wars.
I was going to say that.
He's a good filmmaker.
I wonder if that's down to the trust in Favreau as a director. Like a lot of these things where it's a bit like, well, do we want Favreau back? Has he got the chops?
Well, the Book of Boba Fett is so baffling, and he kind of helmed that entirely himself. I think he actually jokingly said that he made that while like doing a plane journey. He like wrote the script while like doing a private jet from like New York to LA.
Oh dear. That's not something you say out loud.
It's not something you should say out loud. But no, I think in terms of this film, I think he's definitely the best shout.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a big transition in Star Wars. This is probably going to be the ultimate transition.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Kid A of Star Wars.
Okay. Disney's making it.
Yeah, Disney just need to know how to. I don't know. It's an impossible job because they've just got to please so many.
Yeah.
It's almost like being a politician.
They've
trying to please everybody.
Just got to give it a go. They've got to put it out there and just see what the reaction is. I genuinely think it's now like fishing with a shotgun, right? It's just I'm just gonna have to I'll shoot that bit and then hopefully I'll get a fish out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just there's no way of strategically putting out a Star Wars movie anymore because on one side you'll get the consensus approach of it's made by committee, and then you get the other side where it's like The Last Jedi. And it's just like you can't. I just don't think you can win.
You can't win.
No.
But they haven't helped themselves either.
No. What they should really be doing, if they really want to, is they should be looking to introduce Star Wars to new audiences, because they have their hardcore fandom, but they need to get more people interested in it. Because hardcore fandom only goes so far. The more you lose your casuals, and that's it. They need to basically hook more casuals again. And I think that's what they'll do.
Yeah. So what ultimately do you think the profit, the box office return will be for this particular film?
I'm not being funny. I feel like a sports pundit whenever we do this because I kind of always sit up in my chair and go, right, this is the play. This is what they're going for. It's May. This is like what window are they going for? The healthy thing about this is it hasn't got a huge budget, right?
Yeah. The budget's not astronomical. It's 165 million.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably the cheapest Star Wars film since maybe Rogue One.
Yeah.
Like in the Disney era. So they've got that on their side. I mean, yeah, the film's got to make 400 to 500 million to like kind of wash its face. I think it will do that. But I don't know if this is the film to really think this is a bold new era.
Yeah.
This is still going to have Kathleen Kennedy's fingers all over it. Even Jon Favreau's, who I don't think will stick around for much longer.
Yeah.
It's after Starfighter next year where Filoni, I think, has to sort of mould everything in his own image.
Yeah.
But maybe Sigourney Weaver, her character will become so iconic, they'll do 4 TV shows about her.
Absolutely.
And that is the end of one credit after another. For Sigourney Weaver. This may be our longest episode yet, but we want to hear your opinions on the career of the Weaver Diva.
Senorita Weaver. Probably somewhere in here we'll have quite a lot of different spellings of Sigourney. The joke that keeps on giving.
I don't even know if it's all going to stay in. What would you rank as Sigourney Weaver's career highlight? Can she save Star Wars from the oblivion, or is it too little too late? Goodbye, and we will see you soon.
See you later.